Hi there, this is Andrew from Hot Tub Focus on an extremely hot day in the UK where we are tolerating is the word, record temperatures, 38 or 39 degrees today, which is unheard of here. How long does it take to heat up a hot tub, which is the question today. And in this sort of climate, 39 degrees, not as long as it would do if it's freezing cold outside is the answer. You're probably sitting with your hot tub, waiting for it to heat up, wondering why on earth it's taking so long. So the short answer to how long will it take to heat up is somewhere between 4 to 5 hours and as much as 15, 20 hours. And there's a lot of variable factors involved in that. As a rough rule of thumb, most hot tubs will heat up their water between 3 and 6 degrees per hour. Now, the average for United States tap water, cold tap water, is apparently, now we're talking in Fahrenheit here, is 50 odd degrees Fahrenheit. And your hot tub max temperature is going to be 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're looking at about a 50 degree change. You could get 6 per hour, you could get 6 degrees change per hour. Your water could be a bit warmer, you might go for a little bit less than 104 degrees. You know, you're looking at maybe 8 to 10 hours. It really varies. The other things that will make a difference are, how thermally efficient your hot tub is. So first of all, in terms of its heating element, if it's got a massive 3 or 10 or 5 kilowatt heater in it, it's going to probably heat it up faster than the equivalent body of water with a 1 kilowatt heater, for example. So it will depend on the rating of your heater. It'll also depend on, as I said, the ambient air temperature. Obviously, the warmer it is, the quicker it's going to heat up, and the colder it is, the slower. It also makes a difference, actually, as to where your hot tub is, even on a relatively warm day. If you're in a prevailing coldish wind, and there's a draft getting to your hot tub for 10 or 12 hours while it's heating up, it's going to make a bit of a difference to, you know, as opposed to if it was really nicely enclosed in a sun trap, for example. But one of the biggest things that makes the difference, apart from the heating element and the temperature of the water, is the insulation in the hot tub. The actual insulation of the hot tub itself, the hot tub body, makes a massive difference. A more modern hot tub will have better insulation properties and will retain its heat and therefore heat up more quickly than an old hot tub. A hot tub with a really good quality, thermally efficient cover on it, properly fitted and put on, will also heat up significantly more quickly than one with a rubbish leaking cover as well, which is fairly obvious. Hot air rises. And a new cover also, old covers tend to soak up moisture and become less efficient with age at keeping the heat in. So there's a huge number of variable factors involved. The other question that's often asked on this sort of topic is, well, can you add hot water to it? And I've done a previous video on that, which I'll link to in the description. My personal opinion on that is no, don't do it. But you can add warm water to it. There's a number of caveats involved in that, involving making sure the temperature doesn't go too high, that you're heating up gradually, that the water is filtered, that you're not putting excessive strain on your hot water system. It can be done. I don't know really whether it's worth the effort though. My final thought really on how long does it take a hot tub to heat up, apart from not being able to give a definitive answer really, is that it won't heat up in any time at all if you switched it on the day before you wanted to use it. So I think, in my experience, it's all about sort of forward planning. So if I know my hot tub needs draining and filling, or I've not used it for the winter and I'm going to fill it up and set it up again, I don't do it on the day that I know that I want to use it. I do it the day before or 2 days before. In honesty, a couple of days before is better, because it can take a little bit of time to get your pH levels right and for it to all balance out and to get your water chemistry sorted out, and actually allowing, you know, sometimes you need to allow a bit of time for the chlorine to dissipate if you put too much in. If you put too much balancing chemicals in, you need time for it to sort itself out. So it can take 24 hours to do that. A day or two before you really need to use it really is the best solution. Switch it on. Let it heat itself up in its own good merry time to heating temperature. And then when you're actually ready to use it, and you know you're going to be ready to use it, it will be ready to go. The other thing also is, well, whether you should keep the thing on all the time, and so you don't have to worry about this temperature fluctuation. And the answer to that broadly speaking, is probably yes. Hot tubs are designed to be left on and working at temperature all the time so that you could just jump in it whenever. And actually, it's theoretically at least more economical to leave the thing on a steady temperature than it is to let the temperature go down and then crank it up and down and up. However, if you use the thing once a week, maybe not. You maybe put it on standby mode and it will be, you know, at a lower temperature and then go up, and that will be more economical. If you use it, you know, you're going to use it once a month, then obviously it's worth switching it off. If you're using it 3 times a week, it's pretty much worth keeping it on all the time. And actually, if you're using it 2 or 3 times a week, then, and you have the time and the inclination to do that, well, why not use it 4 or 5 times a week and use it almost on a daily basis or every other day? And in which case, it's financially best to actually keep the thing on. It uses less power in the long run, generally, if you have a good cover on it and you have a really well insulated hot tub. That's not actually necessarily the case for a cheaper or a older hot tub where the insulation is not going to be so good. So you'd have to do a bit of a balancing act on that. And the other thing about it is that, you know, you could pay £10,000, $10,000 or something for a hot tub. It's perfectly reasonable to do that. And if it's going to last 15 years or 20 years, there's little point in not using it. In terms of getting value for money, it makes sense to keep it on so that you're encouraged to get in it as much as possible, and it becomes part of your day-to-day habits and your day-to-day sort of activity and your routine, and then you are getting the most value for money out of it as well. So that's a sort of another cost-effective thing that I think is not necessarily always thought about in terms of leaving your hot tub on. Okay, well, I hope that's been useful and you've gleaned something useful from that video. Click down below. You can subscribe to the channel, and also there's a link to my blog post about this with some more detail on it below. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.